Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, off here to a 1v1 on Bayeux. In east it is F3rig, or we'll just call him F3rig. They're fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 3rd Panzerdivision with Luftwaffe Supply Doctrine, Jaeger Infantry and Assault Support with Panzerfaust Pack and Infantry versus in the west it is Prabuty. Fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin. And all that is gloriously socialist here with a defensive doctrine to charge start. We've got M42 anti-tank guns, heavy mortars, advanced fortifications, heavy machine guns, and anti-tank arch with the double engineer conscript start here for Prabuty. Grenadier MG42 there for F3rig. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my paid supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacast. Without them, I would not be able to do this, so big thanks to every single one of those. You too can join their illustrious and very cool ranks by pledging on Patreon yourself, or you can donate via PayPal. And I should comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. So, off to the races we are with a double conscript engineer start there for Prabuty. F3rig with a standard Grenadier MG42 start. The double engineers here for Prabuty allow him to seize more territory in the early game, but at the trade-off of not quite as much firepower versus the Germans. But obviously, if you're running as an MG42, it doesn't really matter if you're sitting in engineer squad or a conscript squad. They're still going to have to get out of there very fast. Also, apologies for the hiccups. Oh dear. That's wonderful. Worth noting here, F3rig is actually focusing fairly aggressively in the south here rather than north, which is slightly atypical here for Eastern Wehrmacht play on this map. But again, just because it's atypical doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you got to be a lot more careful. Meanwhile, Prabuty here with more forces in the north here. 3rd conscript squad for Prabuty. Grenadier squad sitting out there. Repositioning a bit here as well. Very good. Sees northern point there for the Grenadiers. Conscripts being a definite threat in the southern flank. Grenadiers advancing on the centre. Conscripts up north. Sees the northern fuel point here, but it's going to there as well. Grenadiers surrounding the conscripts in the centre, north position there, north centre-ish. Getting them focused down. Of course, this does disrupt his fuel grab, but at the same time, he is denying Prabuty his fuel, so bit of a trade-off there, I suppose. Meanwhile, got more focus on Prabuty in the south here. That's it. The northern push is being cut to ribbons here by F3rig and the Germans. Can't go for 3rd Grenadier squad unless he's planning something else. There we go. Die dritte Grenadiergruppe. MG42 dealing with the advancing country. They do try and oorah there, and they do get away partly because of the way the machine is angled. Also, it doesn't have a lot of line of sight on its own. Typically, do want a machine to have, a bit more sight there. So, good counter there by Prabuty. We do get the pioneers arriving, but now the position is getting completely surrounded. But still, F3rig is trying to do it off there, but still the conscript just easily get past MG42, and it's going to have to retreat here for F3rig before he ends up handling the machine, and even then it could, theoretically, with a bit of bad luck, be handed over to the Soviets. So that didn't quite go as well as he'd like to. But at the end, he still disrupted his opponent's fuel supply, so wasn't a complete write-off there. Up north, they're pushing it. He's forgotten about the fuel point. He's forgotten about the fuel point. Oh, F3rig. Tech there for him, though. No sign of reduction yet. Though it's worth noting, one thing that's definitely a bit more uncommon is there's a bit of an emphasis on air support and the officers. So, a bit interesting there. We'll have to see which he goes for. We'll have to see which he goes for. Flanking out behind the engineers. Tech almost done there for F3rig. Going for the carve point there. So again, it seems like he really wants to hold the southern part of the map here compared to the northern part, which is again fairly interesting. I wonder if there's a particular reason here from F3rig in this regard. Back here, reinforcement healing there for the Soviets. Grabbing that southern fuel point again up north here. Better skirmish between the pioneers and engineers. Already yogging the drop set. Rifling it off here, pushing back the conscripts. In the south, the machine versus the conscript heavy cover. Over there, we'd lost one. That's it. Those sticks are out too far and cause the entire squad to be suppressed. So that's a bit like there for F3rig. Up north, pioneers, right by the engineers. Heavy losses there for F3rig. Not the best engagement there at all. We get a 4th Grenadier squad. Alright. Would have perhaps suggested some Panzer Grenadier, but if you say planning something like that. Or theoretically, even the officers, if you remember to use the abilities, I mean, having 4 Grenadier squads can be quite good, though arguably, so could Panzer Grenadiers, and they also benefit a lot from the officers' buffs. Mine goes off, the machine taking heavy losses. That's going to be able to retreat there. He's about to get wiped out. Like to make a nice company here. We got the southern fuel point, but in return, Prabuty is getting the northern fuel point. There we go. Prabuty can begin calling in stuff here. Heavy machine guns. So we may also be planning a heavy mortar here versus F3rig and the Germans. We do get the Dishka. Obviously being overwhelmed steadily. No sign of any upgrades. Lots of troops there. Could maybe do with some medical supplies or where to go. In fact, he's almost got 3 command points, still no doctrine. I mean, typically, like, either of these 3 doctrines, you really want like something going there by 2 command points, so you can immediately call in of the officers or the Jaeger command squad, for example. So, okay, we do get Luftwaffe Supply doctrine here for F3rig. We get the S drop supplies. We'll obviously actually goes to the officers. Sadly, a lot of players tend to neglect the officers, but they are quite good actually if you remember to use the abilities. In fact, they're quite potent, and this chap in particular does have a lot of very good abilities, in my opinion. Minesweepers here. That means that mine there for Prabuty is pretty much just straight down the bin. Still, Prabuty has great map control right now versus F3rig. Well, obviously again what he follows up with, but the officer I think could be quite a handy dandy addition, and he looks so cool in his new uniform. He is there. Conditioning forwards there, boosted up there by the Panzer Schokolade containing these metal supplies. Grab northern field point here. Prabuty's got support company going up, can probably follow up with the Tempting command fairly fast and set up for some fast light vehicles or light armor. No sign of upgrades for the Grenadiers yet, keine Maschinengewehren. He's in the south here with the MG42. North here, Grenadiers can call in the officer here to boost his troops and of course provide him with an assault element. Of course, whether or not he goes for it is another matter. Plus, versus the Dishka, he would also have access to smoke bombs for free through the officer, which would obviously be pretty good in dealing with that heavy machine gun team in a much more faster manner. Plus, air reconnaissance and other handy-dandy abilities. But so far, though, F3rig is not showing much of an inclination towards it. Maybe he's planning a pack forward here. If he's concerned about a T-70 being thrown his way, or an anti-aircraft tower attack. Both, I would say, are fairly valid concerns. But so far, no sign of that here from F3rig. No inclination whatsoever. Dishka accidentally retreated there? That must be the case here for Prabuty. I'm not entirely sure whether I should have retreated right there. I think it was in a pretty good position. So, Hamzakation, and there you go. Hey, mortar out here for Prabuty. F3rig, though, besides the medical supplies, has not made any use of the doctrine. But there you go. Supply drop there. Makes sense. Get some fuel, munitions, and of course a PAP 40 and an MG34 in. Give us another machine gun, plus the anti-tank gun. Of course, the extra resources are great for taking out as well, then certainly catching up at this point. Though sadly, no officer. There you go, 120mm mortar up there for Prabuty and the Red Army. Not the heaviest mortar of the war, that was the 160mm mortar, which was also Soviet. In fact, it had to be breech loaded due to the sheer size of the shells in the mortar itself. So, little fun fact there. Grab northern points there.
Supply sector under attack.
Jump in the engineers, the conscripts, veterans who won gain, and he's squad almost wiped out with the heavy mortar there. Already up to a strong start there with 3 kills for Prabuty. No weapons yet crewed here for F3rig back in his base. Still, fairly good map control at the moment here with Prabuty. Again, that accidental retreat of the machine gun definitely gave Prabuty a bit, or F3rig there a bit to work with. And set back Prabuty somewhat. We also got light machines gun for the Grenadiers finally. Heavy machine gun there definitely needs to get out before the heavy mortar snuffs it out. And can go for the T-70 right at the moment here for Prabuty. A fresh push from the northern fuel point here by Prabuty and the Red Army. 5th Mechanized Corps there strikes hard north there into the flanks of the 3rd Panzer Division. Southern points being seized here. Grenadiers are suppressed by the Dishka, though did land a rifle grenade there, and it does cause Prabuty here to retreat. There you go, reinforcements, healing. Hasn't picked up the resources or crewed the weapons, which is a bit interesting. As for Prabuty, we're not seeing a T-70 here on anti-aircraft half-tech or anything else. Could be that Prabuty is in fact trying to tech ahead here and further just rush out T-34-6. That can also be quite an effective strategy for the surge, since the T-34-6 is also amazing versus infantry. It's just not as fast as the T-70, but the T-34-76 also packs a punch, and once you get them going, can really get a lot going. So it might be just Prabuty's just gonna, like, you know, hit f3rig and the Germans with a swarm of T-34-76s, which is definitely a valid strategy. Oh, he does go for the T-70. Alrighty. Still not much going on in terms of the resources or the doctrine from f3rig. No officer, but really like to see the officer for f3rig. Got another medical supply drop there. Escalation against Gondier still has the car front almost secured there.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
There we go, can heal up his troops. He's actually grabbed the fuel and munitions now, that's good. Does is good. Could take up now, in fact. But it's definitely going to need to grab that Fab 40 soon. I'm surprised he's waiting so long, though.
We have lost a squad.
And there we go, Gondier's got wiped out there by a mine. And now he calls in the officer as a quick replacement there. 5 men. Some MP40 chaps there. Has access to the diversion ability, which basically boosts himself. The smoke bombs, which, well, in this case is free, but doesn't do reconnaissance. You got the inspiring aura, which boosts infantry and vehicles nearby. And gets better at Veteran 3. And you got some recon passes, and you finally get a Stuka suppression run. And Veteran 1. Consumption wiped out there. Really rough situation now for f3rig, and no Pack 40 ready. I don't think it's got Televised down either. And of course, the heavy mortar is just an absolutely amazing tool here for Prabuty. But there you go, got the officer leading at the front line here. Can be calling some smoke here on the disc if he wants to. There we go, smoke bombs called in. On this case, actually not on it, but right around there, lying to reposition a bit better. There we go, Pack 40 crewed up with the Pioneers. No tech though for f3rig and the Germans. And now charging in for the smoke here. Bold maneuver here by f3rig, though obviously lacks crucial intelligence on what's on the other side of the smoke, in this case a T-70. Still gets up close with engineers, pushing them back. Probably should get that officer a bit more to safety. Pack 40 moving in here. No medical supplies there for f3rig. Still no tech there for f3rig and the Germans. Teasing this from the Pack 40, punching straight through the armor with a great ease. Officer's almost dead, and f3rig there wisely pulls back before he gets him wiped. Also worth noting, Prabuty has been fairly good with mining across the map here, so thumbs up there. Thumbs up to Prabuty. f3rig, meanwhile, has not really had time to play down mines, plus he's been expending a lot of his munitions on other things, including lots of light machines upgrade. Now the Dishka there for Prabuty, flare mine and a regular mine there. Cheeky Prabuty. Heavy mortar there with still 7 kills. Going pretty aggressively here. Pushes towards the car point here with MD42 as well. f3rig knows no fear. He only knows Deutschland. Still no take there. Grand northern point with the Grenadiers. Officer setting out once more. There we go, finding some tech there for f3rig. Could pop into now pitch around. It's a really good ability to pop, though of course now the timing for that is going to be a bit wrong. Gonna need to treat the machine gun. Worth noting, he still hasn't crewed the MG34 though. That is a bit interesting. You'd figure he'd want another machine gun out here, even if there's the heavy mortar. He could still, like, say, leave one of the machines so he covers some of the more vulnerable points here on the far sides of the map. And Prabuty saying mortar gets into the swing of things again. There you go. Machine part get wiped out. Pop smoke. Very wise decision here by f3rig. Allows him to fall back here in a orderly fashion, except for the machine crew, of course, has already scuppered off. Take almost done. Picking up medical supplies and grabbing the MD34 finally. Yes, indeed. Obviously, acting as a rear guard, needs to put that back Pack 40 a bit further, and clearly f3rig is too preoccupied with a lot of other things, so he kind of forgets about that a bit. But now he does have the MD34 providing with additional anti-infantry weapons, and can build the bomber core here soon. At which point he's going to need some armor up fast. Thankfully for him, though, Prabuty has been fairly consistently harassed and slowed down in terms of tech, so the tank that f3rig going to get out there will actually have an advantage, in particular since Prabuty has been so focused just fighting on the current fight, not planning ahead here, that he doesn't have any anti-tank weapons at all. So a Even like an Osman right now could be really powerful F3rig here versus Prabuty, but he's starting to go for the Pantherfall because he should assume that at least Prabuty is at least somewhat prepared in terms of armor, maybe, but from our perspective, we can actually tell he could actually get away with an Osman rush at this point. Well, rush it's 15 minutes. More of a waddle. They go off to a close tank for the conscripts with the MP40s and the Luger. There's a Walter. There's a Luger. Behold the power of my Luger! Herr Lieutenant, don't you want an MP40? Nein, my Luger looks cooler. Ach, my God. He's gonna get us all killed. Hey, mortar there. Firing away still. Close to hamming out that MG34.
We have 300 points remaining.
300 points left here. In fact, less than that. Definitely a bit rough there. More mines going for again. Prabuty's just been doing an excellent job here mining against F3rig. South side, we got a smaller detachment here with the mines from himself going to flank the Dishka. That's pretty good. But yeah, the situation in the center is an absolute mess. Smoke bombs again. Though very consistent use of the smoke bombs by F3rig. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. But not so much any of the other abilities of yet in the south here. Flanking the Dishka quite well. Oh dear. Prabuty's so preoccupied on the center, he's lost sight of it. And, didn't lose it. Maybe he still has a chance to lose it here to F3rig and the Germans. Nope. Bit of luck there. 8 hit kills in the heavy mortar. Up north, obviously going for the engineers there. Die by my Luger, you socialist swine. You don't have to yell that, but it sounds cool. Need to retreat the Dolphs that we've got to wiped. Has access to the incendiary bombing run. And then there's technically the heavy bombing run, but quite frankly, it's overcosted and not very good. T-34 for Prabuty, so then he'd actually managed to get out the tanks first. First call there by Prabuty though. Panther on the way here for F3rig. It looks like you forgot about Grenadiers in the south. We also got the 7-man conscript upgrade out there for Prabuty, very good, thumbs up. Hitting the car front, cutting off their F3rig's fuel supply, that's also pretty good. Officers close to veteran too. T-34 about to arrive. Panther folders all around the corner here. Southern punch being seized here by F3rig and the Germans. Obviously just needs one more gentleman. He's ready to attack again for Deutschland. And there you go. T-34 out here for Prabuty and the Red Army, but now the Panther are out here for F3rig and for Deutschland. South Korean squad sneaking forward, but with limited support there, that might be a bit too risky. And there you go, T-34 in fact, right there to display just how risky it is there for F3rig's Grenadiers. More medical supplies in the base. Panzerfaust in here, honestly, without any like damage done to the T-34 beforehand, it's honestly a waste of munitions here by F3rig. Of course, might be home to Pack time with the Pack 40, but that clearly did not work out there for F3rig. Panther attack from the north here. And now, of course, Prabuty's the one in a bit of a tight spot because, again, as previously mentioned, he has no anti-tank weapons. All he has to threaten the Panther with is a bunch of anti-tank grenades, which he hasn't researched, by the way, and the T-34-6. So, unless he gets very lucky or F3rig does something stupid, F3rig should be fairly advantaged here. Okay, mostly continue to be a massive asset for Prabuty. 9 kills, very close for T2. Ooh, that was a really close one. That could have got a lot uglier there for F3rig and the Germans. We've got 230 numbers to 431. Package reinforcing. More or less healed up. F3rig, of course, in a pinch could consider rushing out a Stug here. But I think he's more likely just to go for another Panther. Honestly, need to be careful with the officer up north. It's right next to mine. Probably should get the Pioneers to have a look at that. Yeah, F3rig's definitely just to almost an extent playing like there's mines out there, but Prabuty isn't consistently the mines. I mean, he does have the mines, but the way he's moving his troops about is definitely a bit overly risky. Still, he's also very aggressive. Like, he keeps placing his machine right on the side of his opponent's space entrance, which with the heavy mortar is really bold, but at the same time, it is quite disruptive. And there you go, officer there up north wiped up at the mine. That's a bit expensive there for F3rig. Perhaps he replaces the officer. I definitely think he should, but yeah. Watch out for those mines. But by now, F3rig has Getting control of the map here. He's still behind the victory points, but he holds most of the resources, particularly munitions. Another Panther for there for F3rig. That's another advantage here that F3rig's going to be leveraging. Of course, is Panther superiority. Meanwhile, Prabuty is close to another T-34 from 6, but in many ways, F3rig now holds the upper hand with not just the Panther Force, but the Pac 40. And we got incendiary bombing run right at the entrance here to F3rig's base. An absolute just ballsy move there. That's pretty much just pissing off his territory with literal fire. And if you start pissing actual fire, by the way, see a physician or an exorcist. Maybe both. Field and final wave for Prabuty, second Panther already here for F3rig and for Deutschland. Prabuty is definitely going to like rethink his battle tactics here versus F3rig a bit. Now F3rig, they're taking advantage of the advantage he gained to lay down mines. Thumbs up there to F3rig. Went ahead, lay down mines. That is a really, I think, good piece of device thinking, and easily one of the best. Is just if you're ahead, lay down mines, sandbags, barbed wire. Basically just fortify, make race like, you know, fight for what you gained there. Field gun out there for Prabuty. This is 3 divisional field gun. Fixing up that Panzerkampfwagen 4. Panther was the Dishka. I imagine Prabuty's probably going to go for an H5 next, or maybe another field gun, but it needs more something up to punch holes in those Panzers. North air point being seized, fresh mines, and again worth noting he's mining a spot he's already mined because, you know, he knows it's going to work. Because a lot of people just tend to assume, like, if a mine's gone off there once, then, you know, the opponent would never ever put down a mine there again. You know, that's, like, you know, part of the code, except the code is just made up nonsense. Hey, more to the quite a bit of bad spot here. Once more, F3rig just delivers a lot of firepower viciously here at Prabuty under that army. North air point being seized, and he's retreating swiftly. Johnny is standing up ready here for F3rig, back at Prabuty's base. We'll have to see what he goes for next. But I think also what needs to happen is for Prabuty is just to, like, you know, stop attacking through here. Like, you need to, like, try and catch F3rig off guard, rather than just, you know, try and punch F3rig's nose in. Except, you know, F3rig's got, like, a spear pointed at him and a lot of guns. Which is really going to hurt your fist then. And other parts of your anatomy. So I think there definitely needs to be like a change in tactics here from Prabuty, because he's currently just, you know, really trying to punch free around, say, you know, launching an attack for him that way, maybe looking to catch F3rig off guard, or, you know, sneaking through the south and pushing up through the south into the north. Instead, he's just like, you know, zoom straight into every anti-tank gun and machine gun under F3rig's command. Like, it's not necessarily the most efficient approach. And obviously you can just, you know, go through to, like, hoping just eventually at some point F3rig's retreat, but that's just more time than F3rig is allowed to hold the rest of the map, while Prabuty keeps on to the same time to tactics. Well, at the very least, throw down a bloody smoke screen. Like, at this point it should be fairly obvious where F3rig is placing most of his stuff, which is roughly around this zone. So throw down smoke in this zone, you pretty much suppress F3rig's defenses, which would also at least allow Prabuty to make these head-on assaults. So tactically here, Prabuty is, I think it's safe to say, dropping the ball a bit at the Magnitogorsk ball factory number 5. It's the day before coming at Stalin is coming to expect it. He's just dropped every ball in the ball factory. Another Panther 4 there. Meanwhile, F3rig is just leveraging his advantage with more tanks, more armor, and also again just, yeah, Prabuty's just like cleaning up manpower, which again makes it hard for him to get out more armor, which he badly needs. So, I mean, it's not just, you know, about, like, you know, trying to just avoid, like, feeding your opponent just lots of men into their guns, but it's also making sure you can actually, like, build up a larger force of what you need, which is armor. So, I mean, it's very inefficient on a lot of levels here for Prabuty, but again, manpower in particular, this is just really kind of productive for him, honestly. So a bit of advice is always just like, you know, if you're in a tight spot, consider, like, can you attack from any other angles, like, you know, make things a bit more smooth for you, and of course, ensure you don't bleed out as hard. Or if not, you know, throw down some smoke. And you 34 up north, hitting with the Soviets there. Third Panzer IV right around the corner for F3rig. That's definitely going to make things change for Prabuty. He can actually go for another T-34 now, but of course he might be more tempted to go for the Issue-5, which, you know, I can't fault him for. But he definitely needs something. Then we got mines here for Prabuty as well there. Very good. Even he's like not super ahead, anything you do to like maybe make it harder for F3rig to charge at him, of course, is really good for him. And there you go, H-5 tank destroyer there. We'll later see the Issue-5M, which was sort of an intermediate solution to get the Issue-100 ready, because the Issue-100 had some issues with the gun, so they made the Issue-5M, which is basically just an Issue-5 with a longer chassis, which turns out didn't help that much because the gun was still too big for it. North Dish goes to the Panzer IV. Mines go off in the south here, killing several of F3rig's grenadiers, slowing down his advance. It doesn't hit the tanks, which is obviously what Prabuty is probably hoping for, that the Panzer IV, you know, gets hit and then can take it out. Using the T-70 as a spotter. Shot fire, bounced. We got 25 numbers to I mean, Prabuty still has the victory point lead, but tactically he's just doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that somehow his opponent starts messing up. Which is always one of those more dangerous things, like, you know, and sort of dangerous patterns that kind of feel like arrive with some players, like they just keep doing the same thing again and again, hoping the other one slips up, rather than finding a new approach and, you know, looking to actually, like, more realistically hope A, your opponent fucks up, just real, you know, gets caught on too late. Panther moving in, it looks like it's going to raid the base again. F3rig displaying a tendency towards some fairly aggressive tactics here again, and it's also something that Prabuty's also just struggling with. Like, he's struggling with a very aggressive Wehrmacht play, and that's also something I should probably commend F3rig on. He is just very good at playing aggressive as the Wehrmacht, and honestly, in my opinion, it's how you play the Wehrmacht best. Like, you just typically not, in my opinion, tend to be served well by playing the Wehrmacht defensively. It's also historically more accurate because the Wehrmacht was not made for, like, slow attritional fighting. It was very much, you know, fast blitzkrieg force. Panzer IV with 9 kills, veterans in 1. H-5 creeping ahead here. Good hit there with H-5 on the Panzer IV. Fielding gets a great help as well there. You got the Pack 40 firing back here. And there you go, sending a bombing run here right into the midst of Prabuty's lines. It's so dense connected. And there you go, we got anti-tank overwatch. But it's so important to keep in mind about this ability. If it doesn't have line of sight, it doesn't really trick us. So, on one hand, it's pretty cool to call in right in the midst here of F3rig's lines. But if you can't see it and, you know, can't exploit it, it doesn't really matter in a sense. So, also in this case, F3rig just, again, counters it by attacking into Prabuty. It's like, F3rig truly is just, you know, a blitzkrieg man. A man of the storm. That's it, things slowing down a bit. He's tanked to take some damage nonetheless, so he's not quite fully committed here versus Prabuty. And he's been pushed back. U40 on the fire there from the T-Fed Flux H-5 moving forward. Panther will be hauled back. They're close to veteran T2. T7 with a damaged engine. Constantly being mauled out in the open. And once more, the Prabuty just ends up taking, like, you know, just the head-on approach, gets bogged down, and just, like, you know, leverage anything. Also, just lacks more tanks. There you go, some high explosive fire. I mean, honestly, if he's going to keep trying with this approach, he probably should actually go for another heavy mortar, honestly. Like, I think if he's going to go for this style of warfare, he really needs, like, a second heavy mortar just further add pressure to F3rig in this style of warfare. So there might also just be an issue with force competition just to further assist this particular style of combat here for Prabuty. Whereas again, F3rig's just like, I need more panzers. It's like, yes, you need more panzers. My god, you really must have aced Guderian's classes, didn't you? I mean, obviously it's the correct thing, you know, I'm not trying to be super sarcastic here. It's like, you know, yes, that's pretty much it. Get more panzers, hit hard. Make sure you got him supporting. Dating his Duke is also pretty good. The 2 thumbs up. Obviously just adds some more anti-tank punch and also does decent work as an infantry. Getting a Stuka on is not a bad idea either. Particularly since if the Panther Force is drawing all the fire, the Stuka can just quickly chew through the H-54 and the T-54 and the T-70 with its high rate of fire. So I mean, a fairly strong force comes, you know, going to I think also just fits Ferrig's, you know, style of combat better, whereas again Prabuty's just sort of... He's a bit all over the place, honestly. He's a bit all over the place. Just got one Panther Force there, super close to 52 on the Schutzen. Sturmgeschütz almost done. There's 5 Panther engaged there. Field joining in. Ace level field, in fact, could see the Panther knocked out. That's going to be a blow there for F3rig. Yup. No, it misses. It bloody well misses. And he repositions. Oh. Oh, do you mean we're going to push if North Panther being ejected? Blitz! Blitz! F3rig! Deutschland vorwärts! Blitzkrieg! Oh, silly bastard. I think he actually chanted, like, just dive right in between here and just completely mess up Prabuty's formation. And then charge him the rest of the forces. Prabuty's reeling from that. Still, I guess, falling back at least, I don't think it's the better choice rather than just trying to keep it fighting there. But I think he missed an opportunity there, possibly. Got the Stuka 3G arriving there, though. The Sturmgeschütz 3 aus von G. Now he's going for it again. They're catching the T-54 from 6 machine about to get wiped out. He's diving in with the Stuka there, using the Panther Force as bait, perhaps. Bold maneuver here by F3rig. Could actually cost him the Stuka, who doesn't like, you know, sending more support. Or is he using the Stuka as bait instead? Got the T-54 from 6 there with its 75mm cannon. Or the Sturmkanone, as it was known in the Stuka. Almost got the Stuka there though, but it looks like it does get away. T-54 there slowly combusts. Need to pull the Stuka further away here, and oh yeah, lost it. That was a bit awkward there for him. Better waste of the Stuka, but he technically did get the T-54 76 with us. It's kind of an equal trade, since they almost... Did they call the same? 390 and 280-90, so he actually kind of got ahead on that one. Economics. Any more to the 20 kills? Panther 4 have engaged with the H-5 tank, so Filgan joining in. Another T-34 from 6 on the way there for Prabuty and the Red Army. Comes from 5 from the Panther 4 here. South 3 comes routed. Got the H-5 pursuing the Panther 4 must guard it. Betty 2 getting the other Panther 4, and the other one looks like going to blitz, but gets caught up in the territorial point here, really messing up his blitzkrieg. And there you go, another T-54 up there for Prabuty, but armor-wise he is still a bit more awkward positioning, more according to the 2 Ace Grenadier squads there with a lot of kills to their names. And probably a lot of war crimes. And he's playing up behind the field gun. That could get a bit painful. There we go. T-54 narrowly saving the day here. Prabuty's northern push here. But he's somewhat. Panther 4 there with the damaging hits a mine. But he gets the ace field gun, which is nonetheless a slap across the face for Prabuty still. We got 239 on 99. In some ways, Prabuty's able to somewhat stabilize the front line versus F3rig, but in other ways, it's definitely looking a bit hazardous. Oh, Scheiße! Almost got 2 full wipes in a light machine gun drop. This is huge for Prabuty. If he can exploit this versus F3rig, this could be great. And the other effect can get this Panther 4 going again, then launch a full blitzkrieg with his 3 Panther 4s and Stuka. Then there's a chance F3rig could turn this around, though. He may want to consider a Panther Grenadier squad or the opposite to support these things as well here. 239 on 99. Machine in trouble. Using the trainee to flank the T-34. Third Panther Force almost at T2 here. That's going to be then 3 veteran 2 Panther Force that Schutzen up. Bit awkward handling the Panther Force. There you go. Veteran 2 gaining the other one, but there you go. Takes a ton of shots. There you go. He's blitzing now. Deutschland vorwärts. Other Panther 4 that's not quite as Deutschland forward as it should be. Almost got the T-54 from 6 here. Almost got it. Panther 4 back getting knocked out here. Then we got the H-5 still fighting around here. Panther 4 down, Panther 4 down. He's pushing into the base here with the Panther 4 here, though. Pretty risky, and almost got the 85, but it narrowly escapes. Panther 4 with the damage engine, getting flanked by the T-70. Can he take out the T-54 from the east? No, he loses the other Panther 4. Still, he pushed back Prabuty into his base. He's got most of the victor points control again. There's still the other Panther 4, of course, the Sturmgeschütz. If he can just avoid throwing that one away. Most of Prabuty's armored force is damaged. Oh dear, F3rig is diving into the wolf's lair here. The bear's den. F3rig is fearless. He sends in his Panther 4 Stug to kill the beast within his lair. Like a hero out of myth. Good lord. And with that, he's just taken out everything there in terms of armor. Everything's on fire inside of Prabuty's base. And the Panther 4 now is ace level, just nothing Prabuty can do. He's got a few counter tools, but they can't take out a Panther 4 ace level. 39 kills, if only they had a machine to the Stug, and even then it's getting a lot of kills. It's killed 6 men already. Probably by running them over, but you know, it still kills. And the Panther 4 is just annihilating everything. It's a massacre. Prabuty is just being demolished. Slaughtered. Annihilated. I mean, this is sort of like, you know, engagement. There's like a background for some really pissed off Soviet sniper in a Russian movie about the Second World War. You know, they drove into our base and murdered everything. I will get vengeance for my fallen friends. I mean, good lord, that Panther 4 is a true pocket tiger. 54 kills. Really showing what a Panther 4 can do once it gets going, by the way, with a pin-up machine gun. It's not often you see it, but when it does go off, oh boy, does it go off. Still not seeing up here trying to see any silver benefit from the offset and Pentagon use, I think, here, Mr. F3rig, but you know, minor detail at this point. And again, insane arpeggios are really good in the MU-42s, and particularly the ace level, they can absolutely just annihilate infantry. Sending the artillery called in here again.
We have lost a machine gun crew.
And F3rig's bloody well going for it again. He's attacking straight into the base. F3rig knows no fear. He only knows the Blitzkrieg. Third commanders speak of him in hushed tones in headquarters across the Eastern Front, terrified they will appear on their part of the front line. I heard he once took out an entire heavy tank company with a single Stug. "55 kills then the Panther 4 ace. Another Panther on the way for F3rig. Another NG-42. Again, F3rig knows no fear. Or at least to him, fear just means fall. Fear? Yeah, it's a Panzer fear. No, that's not what I mean. I don't understand your questions then. Bloody Germans. Oh, anti-tank watch against the Ace Panther. Don't lose it, F3rig! Don't lose it! Ah, what are you doing? Ah, got him, Himmel! Ah! They almost threw away a German hero there. 56 out of 239. Stuke Panther going for the chief for the first in the centre here. Almost got the T-34. Gets into one game the Stuke. He's in using heat shells just to make sure it dies. And also doesn't fire back if it somehow survives. Got 10 kills in the Stuke, 6 infantry, 4 vehicles. You should actually add the payload machine. It actually does add some nice anti-infantry, but you know. Damaging the Stuke. He could honestly just allow to shoot at infantry as it pulls back. I don't think he'd miss out much there. Fixing up the Ace Panther 4 there. Continuing straight to the MD-34. 42 actually, not 34. Getting utterly torn apart there. Shredded. Slaughtered. Ace going southwards there. More wipes here for Prabuty. He fights valiantly for the Red Army, but sadly he's falling a bit short here in the face of F3rig and his blitzkrieg that knows no fear. Rushing the machine to the south. We've got 19 points left for Prabuty. Panther getting conscript north, almost 590 with the Panzerfear. Ace Panther is good to go, want to move for F3rig. And there you go, GG, game over. Loss there for Prabuty, a victory for the German army, a victory for Blitzkrieg. So there you go, hope you enjoyed this match, you'll learn something from it. Hope to give you inspiring matches like mines, aggressive Panzer IV plays, remaining to use Blitzkrieg and other things there. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching, hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.